I hooked up with a Don't put that in. I just needed to get my secret out. Hi, I'm Emma.
And I'm Makenna.
And welcome back to What's Happening MU.
What's happening, MU?
In this week's episode, we'll be hearing tales of Maryville students.
We asked you guys to submit your most funny and entertaining stories from your time at Maryville, and let me say, you delivered. Let's get into it.
All right, first story. One night, a friend and I decided it would be an incredible idea to go rollerblading around campus. My friend was wearing a Guy Fieri flag with her backpack on. Trust me, this is a key detail. After rolling around for a few minutes, we decided the best place to rollerblade was down the ramp to the soccer field. At the time, this seemed like a great idea, but as we all know, what sounds like a good idea at the time usually isn't so good. We started down the ramps feeling the wind in our hair, having a fantastic time, but then my friend started going too fast down the ramp. I tried to tell her to slow down because the turn was coming up, but it was too late. The weight of her backpack was just too heavy, and as she was trying to stop, it pulled her down and she fell straight on her back. Her soda can flew over the railing, spilling everywhere. We were laughing so hard that she just laid there for a good 3 minutes before getting back up. Somewhere in those 3 minutes, I fell down too because I was laughing so hard. Luckily, no one was hurt. Well, maybe our egos, but physically, everything was all right. Long story short, it's probably not the best idea to go rollerblading down the soccer ramp at night. But I mean, I'd do it again without a doubt.
I think that we should address the Guy Fieri flag.
I understood the backpack, but I honestly wish you had submitted a photo of the flag with.
I do think that it was
story.
a nice touch, though.
Yeah. I think it adds to the story. The flavor. The flavor? That was good.
That was good.
That was
pretty good. Entering Flavor Town. On to story number 2. The day was November 13th. At 11:30 p.m., I and 4 of my friends decided it would be a wonderful idea to adventure out and see what Missouri had to offer us. Great idea, I know. We ended up in St. Charles and decided that it was not the place for us. Before leaving, we decided to snap a pic in one of the gazebos that was wrapped in lights. After getting catcalled twice, we decided it was time to go. So we drove back to campus, but little did we know the night was far from over. One of my friends had to work at 6 a.m. the next day, so the plan was to drop her off, drive around for another hour or so, then drive back to campus since the two of us had plans the next morning, including a 2-hour trip back home. Windows down and music blasting, we drove and drove and drove some more. In the dark, on a random back road, we see a sign that says Jefferson City, 67 miles, and the mission became clear. At 3:05 in the morning on November 14th, we take the most tired, chaotic picture in front of the Capitol building. Back in the car we go. We get back to campus around 5:30, just in time to get around 4 hours of sleep before my journey home. That was good.
I like the spontaneity. I don't know, I respect it.
I like it. I think that unexpected journeys are the best.
Ooh.
That was really bad. No, okay.
I think we just need to move on. That hurt me. Okay, I don't even know how to go into this next story. So you know what? It's okay. This one's pretty short.
So this one came in multiple submissions.
Yes.
And we, saw it get submitted every time.
Mm-hmm. And
I think that made it a lot better.
Yeah.
So
this was in the midst of, 30 coming in within 15 minutes. So this one set everything in motion.
This is my fave.
So this is my fave. Honestly, for my sake, I hope it's real. For the sake of the submitter, I hope it is fake. One time, my mom came to campus and hooked up with my sweet mate's dad.
Next submission. How we found out. Splatters in the bathroom. They claimed to be cleaning while we went to go get food.
Next submission. They've been dating for 7 months now. Awkward with the sweet mate.
Next submission. My friend told me to do this, and I don't have a story, but I do think you guys should include theirs about their parents. I also witnessed the stains in the bathroom, and it was gnarly. The dad was kind of a weirdo, but the mom was a MILF. I also hope that story is fake for the sake of the people, but I think that's some of the best tea I've got.
Well, if this story is real and you feel like DMing at what's happening MU on Instagram and coming clean that this is about you, I would appreciate nothing more. Yeah. Can I meet your new stepdad and your mom? In the beginning of the school year, my roommate and I, who have been friends since grade school, moved in together on campus. We didn't know our suitemates, but introduced ourselves on move-in. That day, they asked us to go out to the bar with them, and my roommate and I politely declined. They asked us 5 more times throughout the rest of the day, and we continued to say no each time. Eventually, they left to go to the bar, and I went to bed. I woke up at 2:30 in the morning and see 3 people standing in my room and 1 more walking in from the bathroom. My roommate wakes up and yells, "What the f***?" And the people quickly leave to go back into our suitemate's room. We didn't know the duty phone number or who to call, so we stayed up listening to them party, and I didn't fall asleep until after 4 in the morning. The next day, I walk into the bathroom and see hair all over the shower, the toilet, and there's beer and sticky stains completely covering the floor. I try to tiptoe towards the toilet and open the lid to see even more hair, and what I can only assume is a body fluid that I don't want to repeat stained on the toilet seat.
So was this like move-in weekend? Yeah. I think I would have gotten them replaced.
I don't know if I would be above bodily harm in that moment. Like, I don't know if I can guarantee I wouldn't punch them.
I think it would have been the random people in my room at like 3 in the morning. I think that would have been probably my last straw, because, you know, like, you can clean a bathroom, but you can't just forget about waking up to random people in your room. So that's good. That's really good.
I hope your situation got better.
And I hope that they apologized.
Moving on.
Yeah, okay. So, this one's kind of long. Okay. This is the story of the time that I got my finger stuck in a box. Yeah, you heard that right, a box. My friends and I were entering Potter, and I noticed the box on the wall that had apparently been there all year. My friend told me that that's where she dropped off her keys whenever she left Mouton. This is when Mouton was the quarantine hall. Being the curious person that I am, I decided to take a look at the box that had sparked an interest in me. Now let me tell you, this was not an ordinary box. It was a small metal mailbox type thing. My friend came up behind me and said, "Oh look, you can still see my key." I don't know what happened in my head after that, but I decided to stick my finger in the box. To grab the key? No. To get a better look? No. Because I wanted to? I guess so. Needless to say, my chody little fingers got stuck in the mailbox. I managed to wiggle a few out, but my ring finger was still stuck. It started to swell, and I could feel the metal getting tighter and the pressure on my finger increasing. I was in pain. We called our trusty RA, and she brought down some ice and lotion in hopes to de-inflate my finger and lube it up enough to slide out. Nothing worked. Finally, we called public safety. They came and were absolutely flabbergasted at the sight of me hanging from this box with my now purple, red, and blue finger stuck. What the fuck was the expression on their faces? I had originally thought they might come in with a saw to cut the box off, or maybe a screwdriver to get the box off the wall. Nope, just 3 men in black. They used extreme brute force to literally pull the sides of the box away from my finger while I pulled it out. I don't know why we did not think of that. They checked on my fingers and noticed the swelling, bruising, and an indent on my ring finger where the metal was pushing on it. I still have a scar to this day. They offered to call an ambulance, but I refused. I'm broke enough. I don't want ER bills. I answered the questions, thanked them for their service, and headed upstairs with ice and a few ibuprofen. Flash forward to 6 months, I'm walking around at the fall involvement fair. I see a booth for public safety. I stop and talk to a familiar officer about the incident. They said it was the most memorable report they'd ever written, and nobody would ever forget me. Flash forward another week. I had an interview for a job at public safety. Flash forward to today. I've been working at public safety for almost 6 months, and I get made fun of it about once a month.
Do you want to show the camera your scar?
Okay,
everybody, so we have something very exciting. We actually have the person who submitted the box story here in the studio with us.
Would you like to show the scar on your finger?
You can kind of see, like, the difference, like, there, and then this one goes diagonal, and there's a little dent in my finger.
All right, so before we share our last story, which is the best, we would like to shout out some honorable mentions.
Like we said, we got about 35 submissions in the span of 15 minutes. And we selected the ones that
really spoke to us.
And we felt comfortable sharing on camera. I kind of have the hots for the salad lady. Which one?
I mean, they make good salads, but you do you, I guess. I mean, like,
yeah.
We all have our own type.
Yeah.
Do you guys have Dr. York? Yep.
Yes. 8 a.m. Tuesdays and Thursdays.
You can just say hi next time. Time for the last story. Sit tight. It's kind of a long one, but I promise you it's worth it. Okay. It was just a normal day for me here at Maryville University. I forgot the exact date. How rude of me. But while this day was so extraordinarily ordinary, there was one thing that was different. That thing being that it was drag bingo night. Now, you might be wondering why this is a big deal or why this is important to a regular person. Well, I'm not just your normal girl next door. I'm probably the most well-versed person you will ever meet with respect to drag race culture. So for me, this was a huge deal. I remember walking up to the auditorium and seeing they were giving out canes for dinner. I was starving at this point, so I was really excited, but just my luck, they gave out the last box combo right in front of me. Let me put this into perspective. You haven't eaten a thing all day, you've had a very intense sports practice, a chem lab with a terrible professor, and all you want is some yummy canes, but they just ran out when you get there. That's what it was like for me. Tragic. That was a poor start to what I hoped to be an amazing night. Well, thankfully, the night turned around. After I got over my short-lived episode of disappointment, I met up with my friends and walked on into the auditorium to find our seats. I am an avid drag race watcher, I keep up with the queens frequently, and I knew that Silky Nutmeg was the guest honor of the night. I did have doubts that she would actually be there, so I did some internet sleuthing and saw earlier in the week she had been in LA. This made me very skeptical about her attendance at the function, but to my surprise, when the night started, Miss Silky sashayed right onto the stage. I immediately had tears coming into my eyes as I was overcome with joy and happiness. As she danced around doing her lip sync, I couldn't help but pull up my wallet and stuff a 20 in her bra. This brought me life. This was honestly one of the happiest moments of my existence. I am so glad that I got to experience it here with some of my best friends. But that's not all, as this event was about 3 hours long. So we are now just getting into the bingo, people keep winning and claiming prizes and going on stage to meet Miss Silky, and literally every single game we play, I am one square away from a bingo, so I am once again overcome with disappointment. But on this next game we play, I actually won bingo. I was so shocked for a moment, I could barely utter the words, and when I did scream bingo, it was mixed with a cry of joy. Now, if you weren't there, you wouldn't know that when a winner went up, they had to perform a talent. So of course, being the diva I am, I chose to bless the crowd with the song. This is the most famous song ever, the national anthem, the Fergie version from the All-Star basketball game, of course. I was so nervous, but I managed to sing my heart out and even got some backup vocals from the legend Silky herself. After I chatted with her for a little on stage, I went back to my seat and eventually won another bingo, but because I was so good, they didn't let me claim another prize. I know deep down in my heart, Silky knew I was so sad, so she tossed me her fan. This is one of my most cherished possessions I have, to be honest. After the show, when she had a little meet and greet, I got a picture with her and she signed the fan for me, even adding a nice message and calling me a hoe. LOL. I left the auditorium a changed woman. I have never experienced such joy before, and I hope to experience it all again. All I can say is thank you to Maryville for putting this on. It made my entire year.
The writing
love
on
that.
that one is so good.
I don't know who this is, but I think you should be a professional storyteller because when I read that for the first time, I also was crying tears of joy.
I was there. It was a magical night, but the fact that you got her fan, so jealous. But also,
I'm happy for you.
I don't think anybody else deserved it more.
No, like, I'm seriously happy for you. It sounded like you are the only person on this campus who wanted it that badly. So
Okay, great. That's all the stories that we have for this week.
Tune into next episode to hear about upcoming events from some of your favorite club members. And that's what's happening, MU. Okay.
Alrighty.
I think that was our cue to wrap it up. Okay.
Let's end this. Okay. Guys, this has been a traumatic episode.
We've been here for like 2 hours.
And that's what's happening, MU.
Period.